Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with a new palette bingo, and this one will be a slightly different than the ones I've done previously, because today I'm actually battling all of my favorite and least favorite shades in my collection. About a month ago I did a mini series here on my channel, and that was basically portraying all of my favorite and least favorite shades in my collection. So what I decided to do today is I wanted to do a eye look with either of those color stories. So what I will do is one eye with my favorite shades and one eye with my least favorite shades. And of course I will randomize all of the shades like I always do with my palette bingos. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. But let's just go ahead and start randomizing my shades. So there are 34 palettes that are eligible to be rolled in, and I'm going to start with my favorite shades. So the first one will be number 31. So number 31 comes from my Francation palette, and the shade is Dirty Money. The next shade will be number 6. And shade number 6 comes from my Going Coconuts palette from Colourpop, and the shade is Cocoa Crush. The third shade will be number 31. And 31 we already just had, so I'm gonna roll again. So the third shade will be number 30. So shade number 30 comes from my Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte Darling palette. So that will be the third shade. I believe that's the first matte that we rolled. And also I forgot to mention I will roll 5 shades for each eye. So the fourth one from my favorite side will be number 22. So shade number 22 is Nubia from the Magic palette from Juvia's Place. So that will be the second to last shade, and then the very last shade will be number 20. So shade number 20 comes from the I Think I Love You palette, and the shade that I chose is Rule Breaker. So those will be the favorite shades going on this eye, and then for my least favorite shades, again we have 34 palettes to choose from, so I'm just going to continue randomizing, and the first one will be number 16. So shade number 16 comes from my Dream Street palette, and that is Sweet Dreams. The next shade will be number 12. So shade number 12 comes from my Soul palette, again from Colourpop, and the shade is Anthem. The third shade on my least favorite side will be number 25. So number 25 comes from my Try palette, and that shade is Curla. The fourth shade will be number 18. So number 18 comes from my Give It To Me Straight, and that is the shade Actually. And then the very last shade on my least favorite side is number 8. So the last shade I got is actually one of my Pando's Eyeshadows eyeshadow, and that is the shade Chiclet from the It's My Pleasure palette by Colourpop. So I will go ahead and get those 10 palettes, and I will go ahead and swatch up my color stories and start with my palette bingo. So I am back and I have swatched out all the shades, and here are the 2 color palettes that we have. So up here are all of the favorite shades. We unfortunately got 2 quite similar yellows right here, but I feel like it's still quite a nice color story. And then for my least favorite shades we have these ones right here. For both of them we only have 1 matte. This one is more of a transition shade, and this is more of a deepening up shade. So I'm a little bit stumped on what to do with these, but I feel like I have an idea, and my idea was always to do a similar kind of style on both eyes, so that it at least will look a little bit cohesive. But I think I know what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the eye that is my favorite shades. So I zoomed you guys in a bit, and I'm gonna start with doing this eye here as my favorite shades. And again, this is the color palette that we have. So what I think I'm gonna start by doing is taking the shade from the Charlotte Darling palette, which is this matte right here, and I'm just gonna take a really fluffy brush like this one and just kind of apply that very lightly in my crease as a starting shade. Also to note, this is actually the first time I'm using this eyeshadow palette, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it works. I got it as a gift with purchase when I did an order from Charlotte Tilbury, so let's see how it all goes. But for now I feel like it actually blends quite nicely, and yeah, I like the look of it to start with. So I'm just going to continue blending this for a while, and I will be right back when I'm going to work with the next shade. So I'm kind of happy with that for now. And next I'm going to go in with this green from the Desi and Katie foundation palette, which is called Dirty Money. And I'm going to try to use just a kind of flat, fluffier brush. Like this one is actually one of the dual Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow brushes, and pick it up with that one to see how it applies. I might move on to spraying it or using my fingers, but I feel like it's actually applying quite well like that. And I'm basically just gonna apply this all over my lid as a base. And I'm also trying to tap into the crease a little bit just to blend it into the transition shade, because it's not the most perfect transition shade to go with this eyeshadow, but I'm hoping to make it work by kind of moving that glitter up in the crease as well. And there you have that shade. Again, I'm quite happy with that placement for now, so I'm going to move on to the next shade. And the next shade I'm going to move on to is the one from the Magic palette from Juvia's Place. And the shade that I drew was one that I recently hit pan on, which is actually the Nubia shade right here. It's just this yellow shade, and I'm going to take the end of my Urban Decay brush that came from the Naked Free palette, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit on this and try to pat this at the center of my lids just to create more of a halo effect. And there we have that shade. I actually really like that kind of combination, but I'm just going to build up the green a little bit in the outer corner again, just to kind of intensify that. And also my eye is watering a little bit, which is going to interfere with the look, but I'm hoping that it won't affect it too much. So this is where I'm stumped a little bit, because I can't decide if I want to put this in the corner or this light yellow right here. I actually feel like this will go better, but I'm not sure where I'm going to put this. Actually, I might use it on my brow bone just to get it used that way, but I'm thinking I'm going to actually go ahead and use this lighter gold in my inner corners. And for that, I'm just using this MAC brush that I always use for my inner corner highlights. And I'm just going to go ahead and, like I said, apply that into the inner corners like so. I'm also blending it up a little bit up here just to kind of to further blend in the gold into that transition shade. So there we have that shade, and I think I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually just going to take that same green and just use on my outer corners to finish off with the look. So I'm using the same brush, and I'm just going to kind of connect this. I'm going to try this so you can see it. I'm going to connect this right here just to kind of make this look a bit more cohesive. And again, my outer corner is watering out there, so it's not blending the best, but I'm just going to try to blend that out again with the same brush with nothing else on it. But I think that will do for now, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the next eye before finishing this one off. Oh, but before we do that, I actually completely forgot. I'm just going to take the shade here in the middle from the Gone Coconuts palette and put that on my brow bone just before I forget. It is slightly darker than I would ideally want there, but I feel like it still works. So that is it for this eye. I'm going to move ahead and do the other eye now. And again, this is the color story that we're working with. I feel like this is a bit more kind of challenging, because here we still have some shades that still went together, but this orange and this purple throws me off a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and start by putting the purple all over my lid like I did the green. I'm not sure how I will do with transition shade, because I don't really have a transition shade in this color palette, but I'm gonna start with the purple and move on from there. And the color is Chiclet right here, again from the It's My Pleasure palette. Again, I'm just going to put this all over the lid and try not to get that much fallout. And again, I'm just going to kind of blend this up into the crease a little bit. It won't look the best to start with, because it's not as shimmery and like without a base as the shade on my other eye, but I'm gonna start with this and then I'm gonna blend it out with a clean brush. And for that, I'm just using this big fluffy brush, and again, it is completely clean, and I'm just gonna try to blend this out to make it kind of fade into my crease a bit more, because this shade, like I said, isn't as easy to blend out as the shade on the other eye. But I'm just gonna continue blending out and then perhaps building up the purple a little bit more on my lips. So next up, I'm just gonna take the shade Anthem from the Soul palette and tap that on my lid as I did with that gold shade on this eye to create that halo eye effect again. I'm being quite careful just to tap and not put on too much pigment because I still want it to look kind of purpley and I don't want to take away from the look too much. And then again, I'm just gonna kind of build up the purple in the outer corner just to make sure that that's deep enough. So what I want to do next is I want to take this Sweet Dream shade from the Dream Street palette and put that in my inner corner to match the other eye, just with a different color story. And I'm going to use the same brush for that. I have just cleaned it up from the gold, and I'm just going to, like I said, put that in my inner corner and again blend that upwards. So this is when the two eyes kind of differ a bit, because obviously I still have that dark orange and this dark matte shade left to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take that orange and use that on my lower lash line, and then just deepen up the outer corner with that dark brown shade. So that is that orange done, and then lastly we're just going to take the dark brown on a little tiny brush and put that on the outer corner. And I'm also kind of matching it up at the top lash lines to kind of make them it more cohesive, if that makes sense. And of course, just to finish off the look as well, I'm going to take Sweet Dreams again and just put that on my brow bone right here. Again, use the entire thing together. So that is the two looks done. I'm gonna go ahead and put on mascara and some lashes, and I will be right back to show you what the final look is. So here we are with the final eye looks. Sorry about the dreadful way I put on these eyelashes. They just didn't want to stick down. I think they are slightly too long, so I need to cut them down a bit more, but anyway, this is the final look, and I'm gonna zoom you in to show you the eyes more in detail, just so you can get a vibe of how it turned out. So here you have the eyeshadow look zoomed in a bit. This is my favorite eye, and I really love how that turned out. It is with this color palette right here, and I think this is actually really stunning. It is more of a smoky eye for me, and both of these are actually more of a smoky eye for me, but I really love how this one turned out. And then for my color palette with the least favorite shades that I have, this one came out a bit darker, which is kind of expected since a lot of the shades that I don't like is a bit darker. But again, I'm really surprised with how this look turned out, and I'm really happy that I managed to make all of these shades work. And overall, I'm really happy with this palette bingo, and it was very fun to challenge myself to play not just with 5 different palettes together, but also to create looks with both my favorite and least favorite eyeshadows. So there you guys was all for this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this result. Let me know down below which one was your favorite, if this is your favorite eye or this is your favorite eye. For me, I will still go with this eye, although I'm quite happy with how this eye turned out as well. But other than that, I hope you're having the most amazing day ever, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.